So we're gonna jump right into it. I normally would try to say something funny, but I'm not about to do that right now. Tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get to comedy. Was there anyone in particular that inspired you to do this?
I think when you grow up in like a Latin household, like an immigrant household, doesn't have to be Latin, immigrant household, you're not allowed to complain. And stand-up is just complaining. So as soon as I did it the first time, I was like, wow, that felt amazing. I got to complain and nobody screamed at me afterwards. So I just like kind of kept doing it, but I just love doing comedy. I used to like get in trouble at school for talking too much and tried to make my parents laugh. And once I tried it, it was like kind of clear, like I gotta keep doing that.
Awesome.
Love that. And when we were in the green room, you were telling me that you started at 18.
Yeah.
I believe. So what was that like? Were you doing improv in high school? Were you charging in the hallway? What was that like?
No, I played soccer in high school, and then my senior year, I took a drama class like as a joke to like get an easy grade. And
did it work?
The guy told me that if I had memorized this like monologue by John Leguizamo that I could skip school. He told me he would get me out of school for like a week, and we would go to Tampa, and it was like a bunch of kids in like a hotel, and we'd do whatever. It's like, it sounded awesome. It was like, I get to leave school for 4 days. He's like, 90% of the participants in this tournament are girls. I was like, that's awesome. So I was like, I'm in. And so I memorized the thing, and I went just to like have fun, but I ended up winning the thing with the monologue. So I was like, oh wow, maybe I'm good at that. And then I played soccer, and then my sophomore year, I was on the off season and I had nothing to do my freshman year, and then I just went to an open mic, and I did bad, and I hated that, so I just couldn't stop. I got like addicted, and then I would travel to New York, I would travel to Chicago, I would get on a bus, because my parents wouldn't give me money to fly, so I would get on a bus for like 12 hours from Cleveland to New York to do open mics, and I did that for years.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah, it was ugly for a bit, like going home on Thanksgiving to like your Latina aunt who's like, she's old but she like is retired and she worked her whole life, and you're a comedian and you're not making any money, and she's like, are you still doing that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, wow, that's sad.
Sounds like a tia.
So that's how, yeah, that's some motivation for you.
I love that. So it feels like it was natural for you, even though, you know, you were grinding hard to get to that top. Talk to us about what it felt like being a Latino in that space. How did your culture show up when you were trying to break through?
Pretty immediately, because a lot of my jokes are just like about my family and my parents, and I'm complaining about my parents. That's my stand-up. Like, if your mom hit you, my comedy is for you. You understand?
I think a lot of people here can relate.
And my mom never hit me hard, but she hit me a lot. And I think talking about that stuff, obviously a lot of us can relate to it. You don't have to be Latino, you just, you know, I always say that white is not a color, it's a mindset, you know? If you're white and your mom hit you, you're Latino. You understand? So I think we can all come together with some of the stuff, but it's all like my family, and so you talk. One of the first advice I ever got was talk about what you know about, like in every space, and if you don't know about it, don't talk about it, because you look stupid, so don't look stupid. And so all I really knew about was my mom, my dad, and how I grew up, and that's a lot of my stand-up now is talking about them, which is nice. It's like, I don't know who it was, a famous comedian said that comedy is just revenge. You know, like you ever like...
But you technically get away with it.
Yeah, like you ever be in a conversation and somebody says something to you and you don't have a good comeback and you don't say anything and you go, damn, that's horrible. And then you get home and you're in the shower and you're like, oh my God, I should have said this. Because of stand-up, I get to use all of those, you know? So that's why I like it.
So see you on Saturday Night Live, obviously, and many of your TikToks. Even though I'm a Gen Xer, I get into the TikToks.
Everybody's on TikTok.
Everybody's on TikTok. You like to add humor to cultural differences.
Right.
How has your Cuban Dominican heritage influenced your comedy style?
Well, like
Cuban Dominican?
Yeah, Dominicans.
Así mismo, que lo que mi gente, vamos arriba. El Caribe en la casa.
I'm very proud of being like Latino. I always felt like it was awesome, and I remember I grew up in Miami where everybody's Latino, and then I went to college in Ohio. I studied abroad, if you will. Like, I didn't really know like white people like that, you know? Like in Miami, white people are Cuban, so I didn't know like American people that many. Like the only American people I knew growing up was like the lawyers from accidents, you know? They would be on TV and they would be like, "Oh, yo quiero ser your abogados." So going to Ohio and meeting all these people and like, bro, I thought I was white, and then I got to Ohio and they were like, whoa, they're Chikorito, you know? So that kind of like, that experience for me was like I just got to really highlight the differences between those kids and me. The school I went to was 80% American or white or Caucasian, whatever word you prefer. But so it was, that experience for me was like crazy, and then that influenced a lot of my comedy, being like, I have noticed that Latinos are like this and white people are like this, and that's, you know, just comes from living like that, going from the most Latin place ever to Ohio, and living there for 4 years was like, you know, I learned a lot.
So what's your writing process, right? We got a bunch of people here that I think maybe want to become comedians someday. So what is your writing process? What do you do when you get stuck? You can't come up with a punchline. And along with that, how do you decide what makes it into your sets versus you say, no, this isn't worth doing?
Yeah, I think getting stuck is a really good thing to talk about, because like, everybody gets stuck no matter what job you have. You get a moment where you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. And I always think about when I was broke. Like every time I'm stuck and I'm like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, this is difficult, I don't know where I'm gonna go, this is too hard, I don't wanna do this. I think about being so broke on a 12-hour bus from Cleveland to New York, and then be like, this isn't worse than that. I'd rather be stuck here than be in the past. So I think like perspective is huge. Like whenever I think it's not going well or I'm too tired or whatever, I'm just like, it could be so much worse stuff. And like chicken is available, bro. Like, do you ever think about that? Like we could get chicken whenever, dog. Like anytime you want, you could go get chicken. Like my mom used to tell me that. And I think that's why I was successful, is because you couldn't like, piss me off or get me mad or make me feel bad. Because like my mom when I was little would be like, in Cuba, we could only have chicken on Tuesday. I'd be going through life like, this is awesome. All of this is awesome. Like, I always say that Latinos are stealing the jobs, right? And we are, but I don't think, people say that, and I think we are, but it's not because we do it for less money. It's because you can say anything to us and we'll be back tomorrow, you know? We're happy to be here, you know? So it's, that perspective is what makes us dangerous as a community. You know, being grateful, you know? And in terms of what makes it and what doesn't make it, I go on stage all the time, so if people don't laugh, I pretend like that never happened. Like I never thought of that. But yeah, I just try to get on stage as much as possible. I have severe ADD, and my mom is an immigrant, so I never got the pills. So I can't sit down and write, you know, I can't, because I have a chemical imbalance. That it has been untreated for 26 years. So I just try to get on stage as much as I can. I think like just talking for me is a way to work stuff out. I just went to Paris, and I was in the Olympics. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's a big deal. Like, let's give it up.
I didn't win a medal, but it was fun. Bro, you know what I was thinking about when I was in Paris? Like, there's a lot of Latinos here. Like sometimes we meet people that don't know a lot about Latinos, or they, you know, don't have a lot of exposure to a lot of Latin people, and they look at you and they go, hola, you know, like they want to speak Spanish to you. People stop, you know, and they try to like, and sometimes we get offended. It's like, that's annoying, like don't do that, it's weird. But then I went to France, bro, and I went up to a French person and I was like, bonjour! I was like, this is fun, bro. Like, I see why people do that, you know? So, maybe that's a joke, you know? Maybe that works. Yeah, stuff, that's how it happens.
We're seeing it live.
Yeah.
So going back to working hard, obviously, as a Latino community, that is our thing.
Yeah.
And I know it takes a lot of hard work to be the youngest in the room. Me personally, I am the youngest COO that ALPFA ever had. But again, it's not easy. And as being the first Gen Z to get on SNL, so I know you're currently the youngest one on the show. Yes, yes.
On the couch.
Tell us about that experience. What was your first day like? You had any pre-show rituals? We want to know all about it.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. There's only been 4 Latinos ever on SNL. That's crazy. 4. That's like, I was mad, dog. Like at first, but then I was like, remember the bus, you know? You know, I'm like, thank you guys. But it was crazy because right before I got SNL, I was opening for some comedians on the road. A Puerto Rican guy named Mark Vieira, who's very funny. He let me open for him. And I was opening for this white guy named Tim Dillon, who's really funny. He's like my gay dad. He's like my gay Republican dad, is Tim Dillon. He's very interesting. But I was on the road with him, and I was living in my friend's apartment in New York, paying rent late. Like, I think I still owe him $1,000. And you know, my parents were just like, I was fine. Like, I was financially independent, thank God. Like, it had already taken me like 6 years, but that moment was like kind of, it was just like, everybody was kind of worried about me, you know? And then I got the opportunity to audition for SNL, and imagine like a mom, a little immigrant mom, and then you're starting to audition for, bro, my mom started smoking cigarettes again. She's quit. She had quit, but after my audition, she called me and she's like, how did it go? And I'm like, I don't know. And she was like, oh my God, Marcello. You know? It was like, all of us were stressed, you know? And it was like 3 auditions, and then meetings, and then weeks where they don't tell you anything. And then I finally got it, and then it was like a freak out, you know? Yeah. It's crazy. And then nothing, I was just like any of us, you know, you're nervous, you're freaking out, you're like, you feel pressure to do well. We all do, I think, like every child of immigrants at your job. Because I'm the first American in my family. If you're the first American in your family, you're kind of like famous in your family. Like a family looks at you different, you know? They're like, look at him, huh? Let's see what he will do with what we gave him, you know? So it just, you kind of feel that pressure. So I always think about that, and I like was scared every day and just trying to make stuff work. I was never like shy. Like I never wanted to think like, because now they just told me that I'll be back for my 3rd season. But like I was never comfortable at all. I was never like, oh, maybe imagine if they don't bring you back because you were too shy to go up to a writer and be like, maybe we do a thing where my dad is just like, whatever. You're like shy or like you feel nervous, and I feel like we all are in those situations in our workplace where like you want to go up to somebody and be like, hey, I want to do this. I think I can do this. Believe in me to do this. That's like a scary thing to do, you know. And I just like thought about the boss, and I thought about my mom. And I would just do it over and over again, and it paid off. I ended up getting my first thing on, and then Pedro Pascal came, and he was like, I want to do something with the little Latino new guy. I don't know, maybe I'm his mom or something. That's all he said. And they told me that, and I was like, I know I got this. I wrote it in 2 seconds. I was like, this is my stand-up, and you know. Imagine, like after that, then people start to trust you, and that's how I think it works. Like nobody should trust you until you do something awesome, and then they can trust you. Like they didn't trust me before, and you just have to do it. Show them, don't tell them. Show them. You know, I think it's a great thing that you have to do it. After Pedro came, then a year later, Benito comes, and this is some inside information. Lord Michaels called me. He never listened. That guy's 80 years old. His phone is a flip phone. If he calls you, it's on purpose. You understand? There's no butt dial. No. He went like that. So he called me, and I was in the shower. I wasn't even at work yet. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And so I pick up the phone, and he's like, Pedro said that he could maybe pass by. So maybe write that thing again. And I was like, yeah, sir. And I called the writers, and I went into work, and we wrote it all. And I went to Benito, and I was like, do you want to play my uncle or my aunt? And he was like, your aunt. And it was, you know, that's another life-changing moment. And then because of that, Benito asked me to be in his music video. So it's a snowball. It's a snowball, but the snowball didn't start for 7 years of, you know, grinding. So if your snowball hasn't started yet, don't give up. It's coming. Just keep doing it.
So we have a lot of students in here, early career professionals also. You're living out your dream already at such a young age. How does that feel? Is it surreal for you, or what's the feeling that you have?
Yeah, it's surreal. It's crazy, but I'm telling you, bro, you just have to think about the bus. Like, if you can focus on whatever your worst days were, whatever was the worst part, you think about that all the time, then whatever you're doing now, you're gonna be like, this is amazing, dude. Look at the tablecloths on these tables. Like, you have, everybody's the clinking and there's food everywhere. Like, life is good, dude. And of course, I feel a lot of anxiety and whatever, and all that stuff, but I can never get the pills. So, I just deal with it and, you know, work, you know, just bury yourself in your work and spend time with your family. And as long you have to continue to spend time with your family, because your family, especially a Latino immigrant family, they'll make sure you're down to earth, you know? They won't let you get too, you know? My tia called me the other day and she was like, when you go to Tampa, do you want to sleep with me in my house? And I was like, no. And she was like, oh. 6 years old. We shouldn't sleep in the same bed anymore. She's like, oh, sorry, Mr. New York. So stay close to your family because they will, they'll make sure that you know, think twice.
Let's give it up for Marcello. We are so grateful that you took the time to be out here with us today. But before we wrap up, we've heard your story, we heard your process, we heard about Cuba, anything's better than the bus.
Yes.
Talk to us about what's next. What are you currently working on? What can we expect? I know we saw you at the Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
That was a success.
Yeah, thank you.
What's next?
I want to do good this season, especially because it's the 50th season, and there's going to be a lot of hype around it. So I'm freaking out about that, and then you know, I want to act, I want to do everything. I want to, you know, I think I want to do more stuff like this too. You know, I just did something with the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and yeah, I'm working on creating a major that maybe some colleges can start to use that I did. So when I went to college in Ohio, they put me in communication school, and I felt like it was good, but once I knew I wanted to get into like TV and stand-up and acting and that stuff, or writing, whatever, they didn't have anything like that. So one night, I was like, I came back from school, I was probably a sophomore or end of my freshman year, and I had a glass of wine, and I sat down with the curriculum of the school, that big fat book that they give you, that you, as soon as you get it, you go like that, and you eliminate it from your life. I grabbed that thing and I went like department by department, and I picked out enough classes to add up to 120 credits, which is how much you need to graduate. And then I presented it to a lady, and she was like, and I was like, I want to do that. And she was like, you know, and she made me meet with her for like 6 months, bro. Like changing stuff and adding stuff, and it was a mess. But I ended up doing my own major, and it was in like entrepreneurship and writing and stuff. Yeah. When I told my mom I was doing that, I was like, Mom, can I do this? She goes, I don't care what you do, bring me a diploma, you know? But I did that, and I'm grateful for it because it made me like hyper-focused already in college. And I think that's something that a lot of people, you know, you hope to do that. I think I got lucky with that drama teacher that made me do that thing. I got lucky that I found the thing that I really wanted to do early on. But I think that's what everybody wants to do. Find what you really, really want to do, and then don't stop doing it. But so I think that doing this and doing that major and maybe putting that in schools would be awesome. And then at my alma mater, this little white school that I went to, I want to start a scholarship for one student every year that I get to meet and mentor that can potentially, you know, get something from it. So, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm thinking about doing.
As we're about to close out,
Yeah.
is there any final words you want to give? If you want to do a skit, that's fine too. Anything you would like to do to close out?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe we could take some questions from the people, maybe?
That would be awesome.
Maybe they want to ask some questions.
Okay, the first person I saw raise a hand is way out there. Are we able to?
I think we're prepared.
Can we run a microphone?
We have an extra mic.
Can I get a wireless mic? And I apologize for the impromptu Q&A.
But I just put such a wrench in the system right now. They're like, we did not plan
This was not planned.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Mofongo or ropa vieja?
You know, I don't answer these types of questions. If you make either of them for me, I will eat that 100%. It's a wrap. I'm down. I don't know. Maybe the questions thing is a little complicated, but
Think of the bus.
I will just say that I think that you guys being here is saying a lot about you. And when people come to events, I used to go to events like this. I am glad to be back at an event like this. I used to go to the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute every year, which is a very cool thing like this that empowers Latinos. And I think the fact that you're here means that you care about your life and that you want to move forward and that you want to succeed. And you need to do a lot of stuff like this every day, whatever it is that you think you can do every day that you feel like is going to help you or surround you with people that you want to be like. I think that's the most important thing. And I am genuinely proud of everybody here for taking time out of their life to go to an event, to make them better. And we're Latinos, so I love you all. And like we all say, estamos a la orden, siempre. Bendiciones para toditos, los quiero. Y sigan adelante, que el mundo es de nosotros. Los ricos no pueden con nosotros.